Hello, hello. Here's another VoiceOver yoga class for all of those who like them better. We're starting in Shukrasana and just resting the hands on the thighs or knees. And you could bring the hands to the chest and stomach. I always give that as an option, just to feel the breath more, to notice that it goes into the stomach. We're using the diaphragm because I want you to now blow out a candle through your nose. So strong breath in, or normal breath in, and a strong exhalation through the nose. So you don't need the hands where they are. If it helps you, then great. But we could also bring our hands into Gyan Mudra with the thumb and four fingertips touching and the remaining fingers stretching away, and just push out. And this is now completely up to us. So we want to start with Kapalbhati, but it doesn't have to be that typical bellows breath. So just pushing the air out in any way you like. And then whenever you're ready, the right thumb goes to the right nostril. We breathe in through the right, through the left, and out through the right. And in through the right, out through the left. Just a few rounds of alternate nostril breathing. And it's up to you whether you want to hold your breath or whether you just want to move through this. I also at this stage wouldn't be, too prescriptive about a ratio. Just breathe in through one nostril, maybe hold, breathe out through the other. Just making sure both nostrils are open at this time of year, depending on when you see this video. But a little hint there, to my left, there's a bit of Christmas decoration. So yeah, just making sure we're starting this right, with a lovely breathing pranayama, breathing technique, to make sure our breath is not just something we're aware of, but it's also ready. Both nostrils are working for us. There's that equilibrium between the right and the left. And always remember expanding on that ratio. You want to make sure that every part of the breath is still comfortable. So if you feel like you can breathe in for much longer, but the exhalation then becomes a problem, then if you're using a ratio, in for one, hold for 4, out for 2. But again, absolutely not necessary. It's getting you to a point where you're guiding the breath in a natural way, and you're then aware of the breath. Once we don't do Anulom Vilom or Nadi Shodhan anymore. And finish that round you're on. And whenever that is, just relax the hands. Can be back in Gyan Mudra. And slowly guide your chin towards your left armpit. The hand can help but doesn't have to. Over to the other side. Again, hand is optional. If you feel quite tight already, you may not need that extra bit of pressure or heaviness at all. And then ear to shoulders, starting on the right. Shoulders relaxed. And then left ear to left shoulder. Good, now chin to chest. Lengthen the neck. We slowly make our way into Ardha Matsyendrasana. So we bring that right foot over to the left side and twist, opening up to the right. As you can see, probably I'm binding here, but that's obviously not necessary. You can just hold on to that top knee. And then over to the other side, and we bow down. The knee stays high. We just stay here for a few breaths. Perfect, well done. Well done me, because I can't see you. And we'll do the other side, Ardha Matsyendrasana, that's seated twist. Opening up to the left side, turning the torso only as much as is possible, obviously. And that bind is fairly deep, or can be fairly deep. It goes deeper as well, so you could bring it to the outside of the left leg completely. But, for a start, this is just for us to warm up. We turn over to the right side and drop the head and torso. And then slowly come back up. Now, staying on that side, the bottom foot comes a little bit further forwards. The left heel rests on the right knee, and we move into the neck. Just opening up into the hip a little bit, and then we change sides. So this is more like a box, so Agni Stambhasana, but a gentle version of it. And we roll into the shoulders. And from here we make our way onto all fours. No, we don't. I'm completely wrong. This is why I don't like voiceovers. We sit on our heels and move into the wrists, opening and closing, so flexing the hands, raising the fingertips, spreading the fingers wide as well, and then going up and down, and then the same with hands and fists. And then we come onto all fours. See, I knew I was going to do that. Now shifting our weight forwards and back a little bit, sitting all the way back, coming forwards to feel that strength in the wrists and the shoulders and arms. And then your left hand comes to the right so that your thumbs touch. Then that right hand goes over so that your pinkies touch, and you send the right leg to the back. Just balancing here. If it's too difficult, just keep the hands in that normal position. And we change sides, so left leg goes up, the hands stay as they are for the moment. Noticing which side is maybe a little bit easier than the other. And of course that depends on which arm we're crossing over. So same now on the other side, right hand to the left hand over, so that your little fingers touch. And we're starting with the left leg here, raising the left leg and staying stable. And what do you have to engage for that? Now right leg goes up, and we release. Hands back into their usual position, but then we send the fingertips towards the knees. If it's too much, obviously not as far, we can be in a diagonal position. We arch and round. And because that is quite deep, we keep it to 1. We bring the tops of the hands onto the ground, fingertips inwards. That's also a little bit much maybe for some. So one hand after the other is fine as well. And then we bring the fingertips onto the ground, arching and rounding here as well. Hands come back down and fingers turn out to the sides. Then fingers turn inwards, and we bend the arms and drop down, forehead to the ground. And we push ourselves back up. And then hands back into their usual Padmanasana position. We inhale, raise the right leg, arch. Exhale, hip stays low as the knee goes to the shoulder. And we do a few more like that. Keep the knee high, keep your hip high. So we're trying not to let it drop. And maybe another one. And then we're going to drop that knee back to the ground and change sides, raising the left leg and arching, raising the head. And as we are rounding, but we don't bring the knee to the dropped head as we often do. We bring the knee towards that left shoulder. On this side, obviously you can't see as well, which is why I was clever enough to start with the right. And then release the left knee back into Padmanasana. We arch our back, look up, round our back, drop the head, move the hips from side to side and over to the right heel, and then over to the left heel, and then back to the, so we left heel, we tuck the right toes under and push that knee up so that the foot is on the ground. And then we can also bring that right hand to the knee if we want, but we can also bring the arm up and over to the back or over to the front onto the left hand, whatever feels nice here for you. Should be a nice good stretch. up and over to the other side. So tucking the left toes under, pushing the heel towards the right, the hip towards the right heel. And again, that left hand, arm does whatever it wants, finds a nice position to stay in. And release. Going a little bit into the body here, into the hips, the back, and then forearms come to the ground and we drop our head and chest. Now, I would suggest staying with the forehead on the ground, but if it comes very naturally to you and it's not too early for this in the class, the chin can come to the ground, but only if your chest is comfortable on the ground. You want your hips right above your knees. So it's quite a deep one for the beginning, and there's no need to overdo it. And there's a few things we'll be doing in this class that are quite considered advanced postures, but as we know, we don't always have to take them so deeply. So we try and stay away from how we think the posture should look and just go somewhere that works for us in this moment right now. Now slowly release, hands come back down and you push yourself up. Again, round will probably feel nice. And then bring your right arm over to the left side. Send your left arm to the front and keeping the hand on the ground. So open the palm to the ceiling, slide that hand along the ground to the right side. So top of the fingers should be on the ground. And we come back onto all fours. And then from here, bring our left arm over to the right side. And that right arm here, you can see a little bit better. So hand stays on the ground, top of the hand stays on the ground. And we slide it as far towards the back of us as we can. Not as we can, as far as is comfortable. As always, that's more important than what is possible. So where do you actually want to be? Not what can you do? And back. On all fours, we round the back. We move a little bit. Shaky shake. And then roll into your shoulders. You can make this deeper. I don't think I'm giving that as an option, but you can make this stronger, obviously, by tucking the toes under and raising the knees off the ground. I'm giving that option here without the movement of the shoulders. So here I want you to spread your shoulder blades apart, as you would in a plank. And then we push up into Parvatasana or mountain pose or downward dog. Which, as a reminder for those who are new, I learned as bringing the head to the ground in this position. So very different. A small but significant difference. Raise your right leg on an inhale. Point your toes. You can move a little bit into your toes and your ankle. And keep that right shoulder, the left one as well, but especially the right, from coming forwards. Flex your foot, drop the heel to the buttocks. And then all the weight in the left hand, arm, shoulder. We grab hold of that right foot with the right hand. Head stays dropped if you're going for that, so that we can keep ourselves from tensing up our neck. And then hand comes down, foot follows, we step to the front, we bring the left heel to the ground, and we'll come up into our first warrior with a little change of the hands. We interlock the hands, push the palms to the ceiling. For me, actually, you can't see that, but I'm in a conservatory. And then over to the back a little bit. Feels nice in the shoulders, I think. Or will feel good in them, even if it doesn't right now. Close the eyes here if we wanted. And then from here, I would open the eyes for this one. Hands to the ground, drop your head. So that's the one of the advanced postures that I was talking about. Standing splits doesn't have to look like this, doesn't mean that in the Sanskrit. So don't worry where your leg is, how high it is. Just get a sense of your balance here. So if you want, bring your hands to your ankle, to your lower leg. And then step that left leg to the back, hands on the ground, and relax into Anjaneyasana, raising the arms, and then pull your left wrist to the right side. Let yourself sink down a little bit. But obviously the hips are aligned so that you're not losing your balance. Now open up to the left side. You may hold on to your left foot here and push the right knee out in case it's dropping inwards with your right arm. And we release to come back into Parvatasana. And we inhale, raise the left leg. Same thing here, even though you can't see my toes. That's unhelpful. Move into the foot and keep your shoulders from coming forwards, both of them, but especially that left one. And then flex your foot, drop the heel. Your right arm is the one that is going to carry you here, that is going to keep you from coming forwards. So raise that left hand, grab hold of the foot, push that heel towards the buttock. And release. We step to the front. We ground our right heel so that we're coming up into the first of the warriors. And again, same thing with the hands. We interlock the hands, push the palms up and then towards the back. You may or may not decide to close the eyes here. Slowly release the hands to the ground, raise your right leg, drop the head. So think of this as more targeting the relaxation in the spine and letting the head drop, just being in that, opposite. It's obviously not a handstand, a headstand, but the same thing applies. We have the head up all the time. The head is the highest part of the body. Here it isn't, and that's great. Hands to the ground, step the right foot to the back, drop your knee, coming into Anjaneyasana. Son of Anjana, water nymph. And we grab hold of the right wrist this time to pull it over to the left side. And keep your right hip heavy here. And back to open up to the right side. Same as before, that hand could grab hold of the right foot, but it really doesn't have to. It's just another option. And we bring the hands to the ground. We step to the back, coming back into Parvatasana or Adho Mukha Svanasana. And we roll forwards into a plank, which will hold for a few breaths. Remember not to sink into your shoulders. And from here we open up, raising the right arm and sending it to the front, where I'm greeted by some needles. Feet on top of each other, hips push up. You may look up to the ceiling. Let's see what's possible. And back into a plank and straight over to the other side, raising the left arm and sending it to the front. Feet on top of each other, hips stacked. And that right hand roughly underneath the shoulder. If it's too far away, it may just be too much of a strain on the wrist. I think in light on yoga, the hand is not aligned there at all. So everyone's obviously different. I'm a Vata body type. We tend to have slightly less. Sorry, let me just explain what I'm doing here. So a half Chaturanga Dandasana, low, high. Just find a place where you can hold. So yeah, more delicate bone structure for those that are of that Vata constitution. We come down all the way, chin and chest to the ground, and can stay in Ashtanga Namaskar, meaning 8 parts still touching the ground. But we can also interlock our hands here, move the knees a little bit further forwards and raise the toes. And who would I be if I stop there? Raise that right leg if you want. And the hands are interlocked, so it's a nice little stretch here for your chest, and feels good in the shoulder blades. But it can be quite a lot. So I remember when I was recording that earlier that I felt a little bit wobbly on the other side. So if you feel like you're too wobbly, then don't worry too much. You want to make sure that you're not overdoing it, meaning that your breath is comfortable here. There we go. So you want to make sure that you're not overdoing it, that the breath is comfortable. And if that means that the hands come to the ground, if you want that left leg up, just work with your body and adapt in any way you like. Now hands to the ground, feet stay high, knees apart as we come into Purna Bhujangasana. Again, quite an advanced posture for the beginning. But as you can see here, I'm not bringing the head all the way to the toes. So that connection, whether you're able to do it or not, just do a little bit less than you normally would. And also try to keep your hips low and heavy. And then from here into child's pose. I think a well-deserved one. Just let your spine get used to this. Not too much of a round after that compression. Just a lovely child's pose. And that's it really for our YouTube subscribers. I hope you enjoyed this. If you want more, then tune into my subscription channel. The description will give you the link. And I'll see you soon.